today's program. First, I would like to thank our English literature sir, Arjun sir, to give us this opportunity to uh, give us this opportunity to analyze on the literary text and literary text. Literature is an ocean, and there are many creations in this ocean. Today, our literature students will analyze about some creations of in this ocean. In this ocean. uh, First, I would like to call Ann Kanishika to do her presentation.
Good day to you all. Today, I would like to present the poem Farewell to Band's Second Tree by E.Housman. First of all, I would like to thank Achudan sir for giving me a wonderful opportunity. Let's about the poem Farewell to Band's Second Tree. E.Housman provides an empathetic expression of a person who is suffering with the feeling of guilt. And this feeling of guilt leads the person to bid farewell to his own surrounding and seclude himself. By allowing free flow of emotion out of the speaker in this ballad, Housman attained his purpose of providing this empathetic expression of a person suffering with fear and guilt. Considering the poem to be a ballad, its intent carries few characteristics that are clearly making this poem to fall into this genre. This whole background of the poem arises from the countryside, which also carries a story in it. Ballads are usually presented in dialogues to attain the conversational effect. We could also call ballads to be short stories in verse, which is obvious in the poem. The extensive use of colloquial languages could be counted as another point that the reason being that ballads have been passed down through the generation orally. Each stanza is set in 4 lines arrangement with a regular rhymic scheme throughout like A B and A B C D, like that they have arranged. And the background of the poem is a farewell. As we all know, farewell is a painful that someone is giving to his familiar, leaving his familiar surrounding, and that's meaning of farewell. Let's see, and the sense of pain that no more creates clearly show that this person that the person is with the decision that he is not going to return. The reason for this sudden decision to leave his surrounding is a crime, a murder. This person had been committed without premeditation. Probably an argument has erupted within siblings while they were not they were at work, which has resulted in this murder. The reason being doubted as a triangular love affair. The the brothers have fought. The brothers have the brothers have fought for some young mistress. It's also clear that the brothers have been together until this note, in which the fight had broken between them. Thus, this person who is bidding farewell is in a shock, not able to accept that he had done a gruesome act. He addresses this ballad to their band and second free. His family is surrounding, realizing the fact that he had just now kill the only companion who was there for him in this place. And let's analyze the poem line by line. Farewell to Ban and Stack and Tree. Farewell to Seven Shore. Terence, look your last at me, for I come home no more. In the first line of Farewell to Ban, Stack and Tree, the speaker begins by utilizing the line that later become the title. He bids farewell to ban a stack meaning a conical pile of hay and a tree. These are specific images associated with a specific place, the Severn Shore. The Severn is the largest river in the UK, along which many of most populated cities are situated. This line is also an example of alliteration with a repetition of words beginning with S. In the third line, the speaker addresses one of his intended listeners, someone named Terence. He asks this person to take a look at him, as he's never going to come home after this moment. As the first stanza in Farewell to Ban's second tree, these lines do their job well. There is a great deal of mystery imbued in them, simply because the reader has no idea who the characters are or what is driving the speaker away. It's Is he leaving willingly? Is someone forcing him? The way the lines are phrased makes it seem as if he is sorry to leave. But this is the only hint E.Housman presents the reader with so far. By now, the blood is fried, and Maurice among the hay lies still, and my knife is in his hand. In the second stanza of Farewell to Ban's second tree, the speaker goes on. He informs the reader very quickly and emotionlessly that someone has died. A man named Maurice is among the hay. He lies still. If this isn't bad enough, the speaker admits that his knife is in his side. Without a doubt, this is the reason the speaker is feeling. He's killed this man for unknown reason and must, due to the pursuit of the law, leave his home. The first two lines of this stanza are shocking. They contrast the warmth, heat, and color of the sun, of the half Mount Hill, and the dried blood. My mother thinks us along away. This time, the field were mown. She had two sons at rising day. Tonight, she will be alone. This third stanza of Farewell to Ban's second tree continues the speaker's tale. He describes his mother and her precipitation of the day. With these details, the speaker's crime becomes even more dramatic. It turns out that Maurice was his brother. His mother is going to be expecting her two sons to come home tonight, but instant, she will be alone. The speaker appears to be well aware of the consequences of his action. Juxtaposition is used again these lines as the speaker recalls how the two were mean to mouth and lone, but instant the day ended in murder and loss. There is bloody hand to shake, and oh man, here is goodbye. We will set no more on sign and rake. My bloody hands and I. The story continues in the fourth stanza. The speaker looks at his hand, holds it out for his friend, and says, "Here's a bloody hand to shake, whether it is covered in blood or not." It draw blood. Like Macbeth. It's stained with the act. Finally, in the second line, it appears the speaker is getting emotional, or at least a little distressed about his situation. He moves He moves through his words and unevenly, saying an "Oh man, here is goodbye." It is sinking in that he really has to leave. It's the end. From a goodbye to his listener, he says goodbye to the life he had before. Uh, his bloody his bloody hands are no longer going to sweat or sink and rake together. His life is about to change dramatically. I wish you strength to bring your pride and a love to keep you clean. And I wish you luck come Lamestate at racing on the green. In the fifth stanza, Fiavatiban's second tree, he speaks to the listener, Terence, telling them that he wishes him well. He hopes his other man will find a love to keep you clean. This is likely a reference to romantic love or perhaps a passion in life to keep him out of trouble. Obviously, the speaker did not have this feature in his life to keep him clean. The use of the word clean in this line should be noted. He would like his hands to be clean, but they are bloody. There is nothing he can do to wipe away his debt now. It's clear the speaker wants nothing but a positive future for his friend. But in wishing him so, he's contrasting his own painful future with a happy and prosperous one. In the third reference on that plate, it will soon be cold. A fold, a fold is a reference to a pen or reference to a pen in which animals are uh, or enclosure in which the animals are kept. And these are the summaries from the poem Farewell to Ban's Second Tree, and the themes that are present in this poem is a conflict leave guilt, regret, and destruction in life. A single conflict affect the whole family. Um, Finally, I wanted to tell you the techniques that are used in this poem is repetition, visual imagery, rhyming pattern, ballad form, narration, simple diction, and the tone that is used is regretting tone. Thank you for hearing me. Have a nice day.
Thank you for your great presentation, Anganishika. Next, I would like to call Saityan to do the presentation on the topic farewell to band secondary.
A great warm good evening to you all. Today I am going to analyze about the poem Farewell to Barnes Tree, which was written by the famous poet E.Housman, who was famous in 19th and 20th centuries in, in Britain. He was born in Fogbury, England on March 26, 1859. He is the eldest of the 7 children. In 1877, he attended St. John's College, England, and he received first-class honors in classical moderations. After finishing his studies, he was appointed as a professor of Latin at Trinity College. Uh, in his life, in his lifetime, he published only 2 volumes of poetry, such as Shofir Vlad and Last Poems. He is best known for his simple style and memorable and moving images that made his work popular during his lifetime. If we go into the detailed analysis of this poem, Farewell to Barnes Secondary by E.Housman describes a traumatizing story of two brothers and how one of them accidentally met his end in a wheat field at the hand of other. In the first stanza, farewell to Barnes Secondary, farewell to Seven's show. Terence, look your last at me, or I come home no more. In the first line of the poem, the speaker begins by utilizing the line that later became the title. He bids farewell to barn, a stack, and a tree. Meaning stack, meaning a conical pile of hay. These are specific images associated with a specific place, the seven shore. The literary device imagery has used by the poet here, and it gives the visual image of the situation of speaker that's speaking to his fluent listener Terence. In that way, the Severn shore. The Severn is the largest river in UK, along which many of the most populated cities are situated. This line is also an example of alliteration with the repetition of words beginning with S. In the third line, the speaker addresses one of the intended listeners, someone named Terence. He asks this person to take a look at him as he's never going to come home after this moment. As the first stanza in the poem, these lines do their job well. There is a great deal of embedded in them, simply because a reader has no idea who the characters are away. Is he leaving willingly? Is someone forcing him? The way the lines are phrased makes it seem as if he is sorry to leave, but this is the only hint Housman presents the reader with so far. In the second stanza, the sun burns on the half-moon hill. By now, the blood is dry, and among in his side of farewell to Barnes Secondary. The speaker goes on. He informs the reader very quickly and emotionlessly that someone has died. A man named Morris is amongst the hay. He lies still. Here we can see the use of consonants in the words Morris, amongst, lies, and still. If this isn't bad enough, the speaker admits that his knife is in his side. Without a doubt, this is a reason. The speaker is feeling he's killed this man for unknown reasons and must, due to the pursuit of the love, leave his home. The first two lines of the stanza are shocking. They contrast the warmth, heat, and color of the sun to that of the half-moon hill and the dried blood. By this line, we can visually imagine the situation in that time. In the third stanza, my mother thinks us long away. This time, the field were mown. She had two sons at the rising day. Tonight, she'll be alone. The third stanza of this poem continues the speaker's tale. He describes his mother and her perception of the day. With these details, the speaker's crime becomes even more dramatic. It turns out that Maurice was his brother. His mother is going to be expecting her two sons to come home tonight, but instead she'll be alone tonight. The speaker appears to be well aware of the consequences of his action. The literary device juxtaposition is used again in these lines as the speaker recalls how the two were meant to mow lawn, but instead the day ended in murder and loss. In the fourth stanza, and here's a bloody hand to shake, and oh man, here's goodbye. We'll sweat no more on scythe and rake, my bloody hands and I. The story continues into the fourth stanza. The speaker looks at his hand, holds it out for his friend, and says, here's a bloody hand to shake, whether it is covered in blood or not. It drew blood, and like Macbeth, it is stained with the act. Finally, in the second line, it appears the speaker is getting emotional or at least a little distressed about his situation. He moves through his words unevenly, saying, and oh man, here's goodbye. It is sinking in that he really has to leave. It's the time to end. For goodbye to his listener, he says goodbye to life he had before. His bloody hands are no longer going to sweat on scythe and rake. In the together in the field. Here, the equipments that scythe and rake are the reference for the farming atmosphere of the speaker. So this effect that given by these equipments are vividly gives a great connection to the speaker and his atmosphere. And this use of these things are called symbols. His life is about to change dramatically. In the stanza 5, I wish you strength to bring you pride and a love to keep you clean. And I wish you luck from Lamaside and racing on the green. In the fifth stanza of this poem, the speaker speaks to the listener, Terence, telling them that he wishes him well. He hopes this man will find a love to keep him clean. This is likely a reference to romantic love or perhaps a passion in life. To keep him out of the trouble, because the speaker had experienced a bad experience due to his unfaithful love. Obviously, the speaker did not have this feature in his life to keep him clean. The use of the word clean in this line should be noted. He would like his hands to be clean, but they are bloody. There's nothing he can do to wipe away his deed now. It is clear the speaker wants nothing but a positive further for his friend, but in wishing him so. He is contrasting his own painful future with a happy and prosperous one. In the third line, he references Lamastid. Lamastid is a holiday celebrated on August 1st to mark the wheat harvest. In the last line of this poem, long for me the rick will wait, and long will wait the fall, and long will stand the empty plate, and dinner will be cold. In the last 4 lines of the poem, the speaker tells the listener that the rick and stake of hay is going to wait for him. It will be there in the field forever now, as his hands will never touch it again. The same can be said for the fold and the empty plate at his mother's kitchen table, and the food on that plate. It will be soon be cold. A fold is a reference to a pen or enclosure in which animals are kept. The poet had used the literary technique irony to emphasize his guilty and sad life, the guilty and sad life of the speaker. In the end, we can say that the poem Farewell to Barney Stack and Tree is one of the greatest poems of E.Housman. The narrator has used many literary devices to give a great imagery to the readers. We can say that this poem has the theme of uncontrolled emotions. The poet significantly makes a great sympathy between readers and the speaker, not as a murderer, but as a person who needed true love. Thank you all for listening me. Have a nice day.
Thank you for your presentation, Chaityan. Next, I would like to call Smeda to do her presentation on the topic Fail to Balance Secondary.
Good evening to you all. Today I'm going to present about the poem Farewell to Barnum's Track and Tree. The poem Farewell to Barnum's Track and Tree was written by E.Housman. Alfred Edward Housman was born on 26th March 1899 in England. A Shropshire Lad is a collection of 63 poems by the English poet Housman. The collection was published in 1896. Housman titled the book The Poems of Terence. The name of Terence appears as a character in his poems. The Farewell to Barnum's Second Tree is also one of the poems which is included in the collection of Shropshire Lad. From the title onward, we know that the speaker of this poem is going to leave from his place, because the diction farewell pointed accurately, because farewell is an act or parting or of making someone's departure. On that way, the speaker of this poem is gonna leave from his place. Farewell to Barnum's. Now we analyze this poem. Farewell to Barnum's Second Tree. Farewell to Shevin Show. Terence, look your last at me, for I come home no more. According to the first stanza of this poem, the speaker lives in a rural agricultural background. Therefore, he could be a farmer, because the farming inanimate things such as barn, stack, and tree is used in this poem to give us an idea he is a farmer, because farewell to he gives more importance to inanimate things such as barn, stack, and tree in the first line, because he just wish farewell to the inanimate things. That means which are the things he used to work, or he worked with that. In this first line, barn is a large building which stores the farming products, such like in this poem, the main farming product is wheat. And this from that, in this poem, wheat is the barn building is something stores wheat. And also stack. Stack means a heap of that means which is mean heap of piles. And tree, in this line, tree reminds us the nature, because it represents the nature in this line. Farewell to Shevin Show. Shevin Show is the British largest river, and it is located in the countryside. Therefore, the speaker of this poem is living his village is situated in the countryside, because he just wish farewell to the Shevin Show, which he used to farming in his farm, in his paddy field. Terence, look your last at me, for I come home to Terence, because he will never come to that place no more. That's why he just requests his friend Terence to look him last. In this line, the many literary devices are used, such as repetition is the first literary device which is used in this stanza. That means the word farewell is repeated in this stanza. From that, the first literary device, repetition, is used, and the second literary device which is used in this stanza is alliteration. In this By now the blood is dried, and Morris amongst the gay lies still, and my knife is in his side. This stanza makes our doubt clear because it is a murder committed by the speaker. He has killed Morris and he is still amongst the gay. That means the dead body of Morris is situated in the Hague. In the first line, the sun burns on Half Mount Hill. That means the sun is going to burn fully, but it is situated now in the Half Mountain. By now, the blood is dried. From that, blood is dried because of the heat of the sun, and also the murder is committed in the morning period. That's why it can dry because of the heat of the sun. And Morris amongst the gay lies still, and my knife in his side. In this last line, my is a possessive adjective, and from that we can confirm that he committed the murder because my is possess speaker in this poem, and he just tell that his knife is in the side of Morris, so that we can clear our doubt why the speaker of this poem is going to leave from his place. And also in this line, we have doubts that why he committed the murder and who is Morris. From the third stanza, we can clear our doubt who is Morris. My mother thinks us long away. 'Tis time the fields were mown. She had 2 sons at rising day. Tonight she'll be alone. This stanza clears our doubt because the relationship between the speaker and Morris are revealed, because they could be brothers, because the speaker says that his mother had 2 sons at the rising day. That means the mother of the speaker has had 2 sons at the rising of the day. From that, we can confirm that Morris is the brother to the speaker, and all the mothers think the safety coming of the children when they go out from the home. That's why he just think about his mother after he committed the murder. That means his mother thinks that his 2 sons will become, but she have a surprise that she'll be alone for a night. After the murder, he just feel about about his mother, because he just tell that tonight his mother will be alone. Now we analyze about the 4th stanza. And here's a bloody hand to shake, and oh man, here's goodbye. We'll sweat no more on synth and trach, my bloody hands and I. Again, the speaker addresses his friend Terence. He has guilty conscience for being a fratricide. Fratricide means who killed someone, a murder. From that, he just have a guilty feeling about that. That's why he just scold his hand as a bloody hand. That means he just hurt her hand that made a murder. That's why he just hurt his hand, and he just requested his friend to shake my hands. Well, sweat no more on synth and Drake. From that, we can confirm that he loves his work. That's why his leaving is not happy for him, because he will not will work with synth and Drake. Synth and Drake are the agricultural things which is used to farming. That's why he just tell his friend, that means we will not work together with the agricultural things. That means, and also my bloody hands and I, that means I will not work and my bloody hand will not work. In this stanza, he just uses bloody hand repeated, and also he just hurt his hand. That's why he reminds bloody hand again and again. In the fifth stanza, that he wishes his friend, the whole that means which he missed is will his sorry, that means which wishes are missed by him. Some wishes are missed by the speaker. That's why he just wishes his friend through